Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a seriously cinematic journey. Picture this, an aerial shot of a massive, lush green forest right at sunrise, with this gorgeous golden light spilling all over the canopy. We're going to take that massive scale and literally zoom all the way down into one single microscopic plant cell to unpack one of the absolute greatest mysteries in nature. So, have you ever stopped to wonder how plants survive without eating food like we do? Think about it for a second. While animals and humans are out there expending massive amounts of energy, foraging, hunting, or just, going to the grocery store, a plant is just rooted in place. It doesn't consume anything, but it completely thrives, and it produces an immense amount of energy. So how are they pulling off this ultimate sedentary trick?
Okay, let's dive into this with Section 1, How do plants eat?
The fundamental difference between plants and the entire rest of the animal kingdom really boils down to one word: autotrophs. By definition, these are organisms that make their own food. They are literally self-sufficient food factories. They don't have to rely on eating other living things to survive. Instead, they just generate everything they need, entirely in-house.
And the specific way these autotrophs pull this off is through a process you've definitely heard of before: photosynthesis. This is the amazing mechanism plants use to cook up their own food, and they only need three super basic ingredients to do it: sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. That's the whole shebang.
Moving right along to Section 2, Inside the Plant Factory. To really get a grip on how plants gather those three ingredients, imagine we're looking at a 3D cross-section of a plant. If you peel back the layers, the plant's roots are acting exactly like underground water supply pipes, just sucking up H2O deep from the soil. Meanwhile, the stem is basically this busy transport highway, actively moving that water and other crucial nutrients right to where they need to be. It's an incredibly efficient biological infrastructure. Now, let's zoom in even closer. We're moving right onto the surface of a leaf. The first thing we hit are the stomata. These are tiny, tiny little pores that suck in carbon dioxide or CO2 straight from the air. Pushing past those stomata, we find thousands of individual plant cells packed inside a single leaf. And inside each of those cells, we've got chloroplasts acting as these glowing green energy centers. Right inside those chloroplasts is chlorophyll, which is the magical substance that actually catches the sunlight.
If we look at these biological parts side by side with modern solar technology, the similarities are absolutely wild. The broad, flat leaves are acting exactly like the solar panels you'd bolt onto a roof. And the chlorophyll inside them? Those are the individual solar cells, just soaking up the sun's golden rays to generate power.
So how does it all come together? Section 3, the 6 steps of photosynthesis.
We're going to break down this complex microscopic machine into 6 easy steps. I want you to visualize glowing particles moving, combining, and separating inside the plant here. Step 1, sunlight is absorbed by that chlorophyll. Step 2, down below, the roots absorb water from the soil and ship it upward. Step 3, carbon dioxide enters the leaf through those tiny stomata pores. Step 4, this is where the magic happens. Inside the chloroplast, the energy from the sunlight combines the water and the CO2. Step 5, glucose, which is basically plant food, gets produced. And finally, Step 6, oxygen is released back into the air.
Now for the science behind the magic. Section 4, the chemistry of life.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we can track the actual chemistry. Let's use a quick color-coded legend so you can clearly see every specific substance entering and leaving the plant during this reaction. Carbon dioxide, or CO2, is gray. Water, H2O, is blue. Our sunlight, the light energy, is golden. The output, glucose, is green, and oxygen, O2, is white. Keep those colors in your head for a second.
So the crucial point is right here in this equation. Watch how those inputs actually transform into the outputs. We start with 6 molecules of gray carbon dioxide plus 6 molecules of blue water, and we mix that with our golden light energy. The arrow shows the reaction, transforming all of those inputs into just one big green molecule of glucose, C6H12O6, plus 6 white molecules of oxygen, 6O2. Boom. It is the perfectly balanced recipe for life.
Let's move to Section 5 and see how this builds in fueling life on Earth. Zooming all the way back out from that microscopic world, where does all this stuff actually go? Well, the glucose acts as vital stored energy. To put this in perspective, plants around the globe produce billions of tons of this glucose every single year. It travels down the stem to fuel the roots, the flowers, the fruits, and the growing leaves.
It's the plant's personal all-you-can-eat buffet. But the oxygen, that escapes the leaves and flows right out into our atmosphere. It's a miraculous byproduct. The waste product of a plant happens to be the exact thing that keeps every human and animal on Earth alive.
And this brilliantly illustrates our main takeaway for today. Photosynthesis is the amazing process that allows plants to make their own food using sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, while releasing oxygen that supports nearly all life on Earth. It perfectly ties that tiny, invisible production line right back to the survival of our whole lush, thriving planet.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final kind of provocative thought. If this microscopic plant factory, these billions of tiny biological solar panels working silently in the background every day, if they just stopped working tomorrow, how long do you think the rest of Earth would actually survive? It really gives you a profound appreciation for our delicate ecosystem, doesn't it? Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and definitely keep exploring the amazing world around you.